So I've been surfing YouTube, and I came across this video that's a year old. It's blowing my mind. How to shift timelines. Gigi Young. I'm going to link it. I'm going to link the video I found. I'm going to link her site. I'm sure we should be listening to her. She had quite a few things to say about some things that just totally resonated with me, really made sense. And one that really wasn't on topic or online with anything is we're not going towards a future. It's not like, oh, what's my future going to be? We are creating it as we go. And your future is different than mine. It's not like we're going towards a collective future. I think possibly that may be something in the future, that we may be collectively going towards the same thing. I don't know, though. You know, the more I think about the things she said, this is me in my own dimension, my own future. It's not going to be a collective thing. It's about me. I've said that in some videos. I said that with some of the Mandela effect clues, that it's about me. It's about you individually. It's about me. But how to shift into timelines, something that I've noticed and it just never clicked. So, about a year now. And if there's something you're afraid of, do it. If there's something you don't want to do, do it. If there's something you're procrastinating on, do it, and you will shift. It's not like you're waiting for CERN. It's not like you're waiting for a certain date or a certain trigger, or hey, maybe there's certain dates or something that the effects would be stronger. It's very exciting right now. But you're not, you can do it. You can do it every day. Wake up, do something that you've been putting off. Do something that what was I saying in the other video? Put your left shoe on first. Now it's no, you know what? We're going to do things that we're afraid of. Things that we've been putting off. I say do things that you're afraid of. Things I'm afraid to do. I am afraid to stop eating meat. I'm afraid to not have an alcoholic beverage once in a while. I don't even know if afraid's the right word, but there are things that I want to do that I'm putting off, that I don't want to do. I created those things. It could be I'm afraid to write with a pencil. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter that these things are things that'll make me healthier, supposedly, from what they tell you. I'm pretty sure I'm as healthy as I want to be, and I'm that healthy all the time because that's how I feel. These do not bother me. They never have. I've had 2 doctors tell me I didn't smoke. And that's the other thing. They kept moving the stethoscope, like looking for my heart. Both of them. The Mandela effect has been showing me different things. One of the things it shows me is it's about me. It's about me and what I'm going to create and how I'm living my life. And she's saying, it's not about a collective future. Where are we going in the future? It's about you and your future. And you're creating it now. It's not like it's there, set up for you. You're creating it right now. But I really want you guys to go listen to Gigi Young and her video. It really, you want to shift? Do something that you don't want to do. Do something that you've been holding back on. Do something that you've been procrastinating on. And I would say the scarier, the more fearful, the hardest, they'll be the bigger shifts. And yes, I guess it's also a possibility that certain times of the month or certain times of the year could possibly push it forward, or it may not. It's just the thought. I don't know. I could be getting into all the people that want to act like they're the ones controlling the changes when it's not. I think this is hitting it on the head. You can change when you want. It's a super dead night here at the bar, and I'm flicking through the channels, and I put Star Trek on, and I thought, wow, that's pretty depressing. But I have, it was funny because, the guy's going,
Don't worry about it. Kirk screaming, don't worry about it. The guy will get his chili peppers. And I had a customer out here going, never heard the word chili peppers come out of Kirk's mouth ever. And I had to laugh. I was like, I'm not even going to get into it. And I'm watching this episode, and this one guy's talking about how the buffalo are gone. And this is the first year, so this is going to be 66, I think was the first year Star Trek came out. It's the one with the salt creature. And I'm sure I'll find a clip and pop it up here.
Okay, so I'm down at the bar. It was kind of dead. I had Star Trek on, kind of depressing. Knowing I'm not going to own my own starship someday. Found some residue for the buffalo. A couple of people remember the buffalo being extinct, as do I. And in this Star Trek episode, one of the characters are talking about how the buffaloes are gone. Episode 2, which in the original timeline I came from, this was closer to episode 4 or 5. The first 5, 6 episodes are all mixed up from what I recall. And this goes along with the whole, there's 80 some episodes now. I mean, 3 seasons of episodes, and the first season has 30 episodes in the first season. It's not the way it was for me in another timeline. So here's the residue. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can film this.
The Earth buffalo. What about it? Once there were millions of them. Moved like thunder. And now they're gone. Is that what you mean?
I think it's important to mention here that the passenger pigeon is extinct. Facing your fear, that's where you shift.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.
See, even those YouTube commercials before videos are even negative. And then you go to click it, skip ad, and you're already listening to, we are not going to survive if we don't change. I mean, all right. So what's today? Today is the 24th of May, and I'm just hearing about attacks, cartoon attacks. See, that's the thing. These things aren't real. Okay, there were some attacks in Manchester, I believe. And the first thing I thought was, I went to I'm not focusing on that. That stuff's not real. It's not actually happening. If there's anything going on over there, it's crisis actors. It's an explosion that happened and the media blew it up, and they took advantage of it, or, it was planned probably. And, they have a list of dead people that, they're already claiming this person's still alive. And because I listened to a bunch of the false flag things, and I thought a couple of them. And, I'm like, it's kind of the same thing I'm saying, like when if I come across some kind of government thing, to me, it's a play, it's a show, it's an act to keep people entertained. And the same thing with this. That wasn't my first reaction, though. My first reaction was, keep it out of my focus. I don't need to, it's not real. And I guess that stems from the false flags that, I'm going to go investigate it, and they're going to show me 3, 4, 5 things that are telling me this is bullcrap, and I'm not going to feel horrible about it again. Because I feel bad at first. Like, oh, Well, that's what that does. I know it's bullshit and it makes me feel bad at first until I think about it, get around it, and then go, it was total fabrication. I don't have to look at anything. I don't have to see any videos, the false flags. The one girl who's alive that they used her name, she's still alive already. Um, are they paying these people off? Or are they just randomly using people's names? I mean, what is it? I don't care. It's not within my perception. It's not affecting me. Okay. It will if I watch it and focus on it. It'll affect me. But I'm not focusing on it. I'm not even going so far as saying, all right, it's a false flag, and this is why. It's a play. It's a show. It's an act. Okay. It's not even happening. When people are talking about it, they're even saying, well, the supposed bombing. I mean, they come out with that right away. Let me get on some of these other things I wanted to talk about. Well, yeah, they could pay somebody that's terminally ill. Hey, we're going to take care of your family the rest of their life. Go out there and, man, we're going to put you down, whatever. But these things, they're not real. They're built to keep you in fear. And it's really all I have to say about it. I don't want to get too much into it. It's not within my perception. It's not within my reality. It's not within my focus. So, yeah, I feel bad for anybody involved in that. But like I said, it's probably just a straight up play. And that's what it is to me. I should probably stop blaming everything on the Mandela effect. No, that's not true. I mean, if I put a pen down and it's somewhere else, then I shifted into a reality where I put that pen somewhere else. I mean, and it's funny because no matter what happens, I'm talking with my coworkers, and they'll say something, and I'll go, "Oh, I know what happened," and they just start laughing like, "Oh my God!" But I think I'm going to have to come up with some sort of step-by-step what's going on, why I feel what's going on. It's funny. I said I was going to do a video on Bluebeard. I'm sure most of you, if not all, heard of Bluebeard. And I wanted to do a video on him because the first time, when his first video came out, and now I'm doing this without re-looking at it, and I really did want to go back and look at it, but maybe this is better because, I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think of what my feelings were on everything. I was listening to a couple of his videos 8-9 months ago, whatever it was, and it was the part where he said his children were missing. And I think I replied and tried to explain that I felt they weren't actually missing, that they're just in another reality or dimension. I think I was using the word dimension at the time, not timeline like I use now. But I kept thinking, wow, wouldn't he be more upset? And I'm like, would I be more upset? Not if I know what I know now, but at the time when he was going through that, I was still studying. I had my theories, and there's the same theories. I just didn't really put everything together yet. Yeah, I would have probably freaked out not knowing or not understanding what's going on. But knowing, no, I'm not that upset. If something like that would happen to me, I wouldn't be upset at all. I know Bluebeard's still questioning, and he should, and keep it up and keep going. I just, but at the time, I want to go back to that first video because I listened to a few of his videos and I kind of branched off, and every once in a while I might have listened to another one, but it wasn't something I was going after because that wasn't even my first thought. Just thinking about it and dwelling on it, I'm thinking, wow, if these things are going to happen, if this is what's happening, this is going to happen to other people. because things like that were happening to me. Other things were happening to me, and they weren't happening to other people. The stars coming out, the orbs, whatever. Or if they were happening to other people, nobody was talking about it like I am. But when he said he lost his 2 children, and I just felt like he should have been more upset. Well, maybe the guy waited till he wasn't upset to do a video. I mean, because a lot of people were saying that, and that's what hit me. So I, kind of just was like, well, at first I was like, nah, it just sounds like some fictional story. And of course it still does. But as soon as I said that to myself back then, I said, how dare I? How dare I? I had stars come at me. I've had conversations that didn't take place. I've woken up saying phone numbers that I didn't know for 35 years, dialogue of movies that I've never seen before. And every single one of my experiences can be attributed to shifting in and out or back and forth into dimensions and timelines. And I really don't think if you go back and forth, or if you see a flip-flop, you don't go back to the exact same timeline you were in. I suppose it's possible, and I suppose it's happened, but that's going to be extremely rare because there's motion in that timeline dimension as well, and you're going back to that at a different point. And like I said before, every nanosecond we're shifting anyway, at least as far as I understand it. So, you're always going to be, every nanosecond you're in a different timeline / reality. But with every one of Bluebeard's experiences that I've listened to so far, every one of them can be attributed to shifting through timelines, shifting through dimensions. And his experiences to me, are so much more extraordinary than mine. It's definitely something. I would love to sit and talk with him. I'd love for him to listen to some of my theories, because one of the questions he was having or asking, or other people were asking, and he was trying to answer was, do we take our physical body, or is it a body? Is it our soul? I use the word consciousness. We're just getting into definition issues here, but I believe it's your consciousness, or your dominant consciousnesses. That's what you're actually bringing. And now then, I didn't even know Bluebeard disappeared. And I saw the video that he came back, and he was back, and I thought, okay, and I let it go. And I started to get a couple of my listeners telling me I should listen to the guy, which, and posting his site on the comments. I wasn't too happy with that. I didn't care. I thought, well, I should put it out there and let other people do their thing. I said, no, I want to listen to it first. I want to get to it first before I start posting on somebody else's information. And, I listened to the 2 videos, actually 3. One was a computer voice, of what things that happened when he came back, or he went back and forth. And I'm just, I'm really into it. I'm really diving into his story, as incredible as it sounds. Some of the things I've said just sound absolutely ridiculous, incredible, and impossible. So, how dare I ever think, oh, that person is just telling a fictional story? Because no, that's not the case. I really feel like these experiences are happening to him, and I don't know, should I say, ooh, if I focus on this, this could happen to me. What I think would have to happen if he goes back again, if Bluebeard goes back again, I would think he really needs to get on his video YouTube page there and explain to people that, they weren't raptured up, they were just shifted, or we're shifting, or we have theories. This is what's going on over here. All the people that you've lost, that disappeared, are actually just in another reality. And you're in that reality too. It's just not where your dominant consciousness is. I think I'm just babbling now. This was supposed to be a 2-second video saying I have to stop blaming everything on Mandela effects. That's all I was going to do. Yeah, so I just did a long spiel that didn't get recorded. I was reading someone's question. What's your take on other people's strange behavior? Is it just because they've always been in this reality? Though, why would they act surprised there were 6 people in the car? My answer to that is it's infinite, and everyone's going to shift or get it on their own in their own time, unless, of course, it's brought to their attention, put in their focus, and then they shift. The example I'm given is I was in Mississippi talking to a bartender. I went over some Mandela effects. She just, laughed and did her job and didn't really resonate with any of that stuff. But she said she had friends that were in their past lives and all this other supernatural stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. So she comes back later and she mentioned Sex in the City. And that's when I, hit her with that one. And she says, no, it's my favorite show. It's Sex in the City. That's definitely what it's called. And I said, look it up. I'm not going to tell you. And she just kept staring at the phone. And she's looking up then she's looking at the, I guess it was on like a Netflix or Hulu or something, and she was looking at that, and she's like, "Wait a minute! I watched the show last night on my or yesterday on my phone. I went home and finished it on my TV, and it's not on my phone at all." And then she looked it up on Google, and it said and that's when she shifted. I shifted 7 months prior. She shifted then. Everybody's going to get this in their own time. Now she shifted because I kind of pushed her. But that's my short answer to that, I suppose. It's infinite and everybody's going to get it in their own time. So their dominant consciousness, if there's somebody that's not getting it, like somebody that says, there were 6 people in the car, I'm wondering if eventually they might remember something different and start feeling it. Because I studied 4 people in the car. And I'm 100% sure there was 4 people in the car. But I remember seeing video with 3 people in the car. Never clicked, never dawned on me. I remember seeing pictures with Governor Connolly's wife in the car. Never clicked, never dawned on me that that person wasn't in the car. But that was long after, I was affected, long after I knew there was 4 and seeing 6, because I heard somebody say 3, and I went, I kind of do remember a picture or something like that with 3. I never said anything to anybody. I'm like, wow, I'm having, multiple memories. But it's infinite, it's quantum, it's individual. So it's going to be about the person when they're ready to shift, when they're ready to change, because it is them changing. Like I said, I'll probably elaborate on the Bluebeard information I put out because, I don't know how clear I was. Like I said, always discern for yourself everybody's information. Whether or not they're coming from experience, as Bluebeard's claiming, as I claim, or if they're just coming out with just fictional stories just because they don't believe it or whatever. I mean, and the other thing is they might be saying outlandish things, but these things may have really happened to these people, or they may really believe it's happened to them. It may not have, but they may believe it's happened to them. So, where do you go? That's why you got to go in here with yourself. This is individual. Good question, because some people see Jiffy, some people don't. Some people see Berenstain, some people see Berenstain. And, with the, you're saying, well, how do you know? How could they be indigenous to this timeline if, why are they acting strange? And, I get that. It's quantum. It's all over the place. So, it's about you. I'd focus more on you than other people. Even with the Bluebeard material, I discern it. I liked it. I liked it the first time I heard it, but I kind of let it go because it really didn't resonate with me, and it may have felt right, like, yeah, this is absolutely possible, but they were so far removed from the things that I was experiencing that I thought, wow, these are things that might happen to us in the future, just as well as some of the things that are happening to me might happen to people normally in the future. And I just didn't I didn't stay up with his videos or many others. I mean, I have like 2,000 people that are making videos on this stuff. And at the time, I wasn't hitting everybody and listening to every single one of them. I try and shift it up. I tried not to stay on the same people, but there were some people that I really resonated with that I just stuck with. So, good question. But because this is quantum, that's the thing. Bluebeard shifted to a timeline where the rapture happened. That's probably where his focus was. It's just a guess. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him or anybody else. Or he knew about it or whatever. Because I'm trying to put this in perspective with, when I shift, I'm shifted into another body that I have. My consciousness or soul shifts into another body, and then it shifts back into a body. And since that one's progressing, it's a different body. But from what I'm getting from his thing is he shifted back and the body went with him because they raptured, they disappeared. The body went with them. So he's having these experiences that, hey, it's infinite. I guess the body can go. If you want to take it with you and that's where your focus is, then I guess it can go. Since it's not physical and the atoms and 98% Mars, 90, whatever it is. I don't see why not. I'm more into shifting into a timeline where there's a body already there. It seems like that's what I'm doing. I'm assuming I'm on the level, I'm over the side of the fence where Bluebeard's experiences are actually happening. Now, and I probably wasn't on that side of the fence when he first came out, and I wanted to go after him more and look at it more, but I just got involved with other things, girls and government and stuff. But no, I mean, every one of these things, and look, I don't feel that outer space is what we've been taught. I could be wrong about that. I don't know, people. I don't know. I mean, I've had experiences with the stars. That's what's telling me that they're not suns with planets revolving around them. They don't have other beings living in these other galaxies, physically anyway. Now, if anybody's claiming they've been abducted or had experiments done on them, listen, it was either governments or beings from other dimensions. I don't believe they were physical. I don't feel they were physical. My beliefs don't matter. I just think that if that's the case and they showed you things or whatnot, they're probably not physical beings. Just because from my experience, I'm thinking this is the only physical realm. This is my book, or documentary, I should say. Finally got this thing up. And I've gone through, edited quite a bit. See how big this thing is, show you. Yeah, I went through, edited some. It really needs probably a lot more work. Plus, I would like to add things since I haven't really written in this since. I'd say the last time I actually edited this thing would be May 2015. April, May. That's close to April, May, June. I think it was before June. That's close to when all the electronic stuff went down, and I kind of lost this thing. 300 some web pages, whatever that is. So I keep saying 100,000 words. It's actually, what do we got? 98,000. So I'm working it. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting project that really came together accidentally. I think it came together pretty well. Now I get into the songs and dissecting like practically every one.